I have had this exact night planned out for the past couple of days. I had this in mind. I am doing 2 album reactions for the 2 records that were supposed to come out tonight. I was going to be I'm so white. I'm going to move this. I was going to do a reaction to Kanye West Donda first. I've been waiting for the record for so long. Obviously, I would react to that one first. But the other record that dropped tonight, which from an artist I nearly like as much as Kanye, is Nas's King's Disease 2, which has a freaking Eminem feature and a freaking Miss Lauryn Hill feature. Okay, so this is a record I am dying to hear. So I knew this. I had this in mind. Whichever one, if Donda and King's, because I knew King's Disease 2 was coming at midnight. I knew Nas would disappoint. If King's Disease 2 came out at midnight, I would listen to that one first. And then if Donda came out at midnight as well, I would listen to that one first. Donda didn't drop at midnight. I've heard some crazy things on Twitter, so I'm trying to avoid any spoilers. I haven't heard anything from it yet. I am avoiding everything as possible. However, King's Disease 2 is out. So thankfully, this is not like last week where I have to sit there depressed because it's not out. And I'm pretty sure it's coming in the next couple of days. I don't know why y'all are so upset on. I knew you guys would be upset, but still, I knew it wasn't coming. I knew it wasn't coming at midnight for a fact. But King's Disease 2 is out. It looks incredible. It's much longer than the first. I reacted to the first one. It's like one of my most viewed videos. It's much longer. It's about 51 minutes. What I want to hear from Nas here, I kind of just want to hear him do the same thing again. Like, not nearly as... I want him to switch things up, but I think Hit Boy's a great producer. I think Nas is a great rapper. I hope there is a side of me that I really hope this record, like, switches up the sounds a lot and does more creative things theme-wise. But the first one was so impressive to me. I cannot wait to hear what Eminem, also guys like A Boogie with a Hoodie and YG, Charlie Wilson, Blast is getting a feature on this, which is exciting because I think Blast really needs that exposure, and getting a feature with Nas is a pretty big deal. So I'm very hopeful for whatever Nas is going to bring to the table on King's Disease 2. I'm really excited for this record. It's exactly what I hope I hope it's what it is. I hope it's as good as the first, at least. The album cover I freaking love. I think the aesthetic of it looks so cool. The chain looks awesome. It looks great. I actually like it a lot more than the first one. The first one I felt a little cluttered to me. I really was excited for the first one. Y'all know I was hyped for that record when it came out. But I don't know. I might be a little more excited for this one. I think it's going to be better. I have a good feeling this is going to be a better record. I think Nas is in a good point in his career. And on other terms of like New Music Friday, there are a couple other things that have dropped. Since Kanye isn't out, I can't react to it. However, we have a new Weekend track, which looks incredible. I will absolutely react to that. I love that guy. And there looks, oh my God, is there more? Oh yeah, they released more to the Faith Deluxe. Jesus Christ, let that man rest in peace. My God. There's a lot of other things though that have come out tonight that I'm pretty excited about. Mostly the new KSI sequel too with Lil Wayne. I really want to hear what that's offering. But at the end of the day, yeah, King's Disease 2 is currently right now my most hyped record of the night. I want to hear what Nas has been doing this past year. You know, it's coming out less than a year after the first. I'm really hopeful for this record. I'm happy about the runtime, so let's give it a shot. Nas, King's Disease 2, track number 1, The Pressure. Let's fucking go. Very iconic line there. Alright, The Pressure. I didn't have a ton to react to on that track. I liked it. It was really nice to me. I think my biggest takeaway from that track was I like the way he discusses like his state in hip-hop. Nas absolutely recognizes that he's been in this game for like so damn long now that it's hard to like question like really who he is at this point. He's fucking Nas. He's been here for so long now. And I like the way he talks about like I had to come back and inspire them. Classic bars like Godson Across the Belly, which is interesting. I'm referring to Ether, but okay. With him doing 2 collabs with Nas or Jay-Z this year. At the end of the day, I like it. It's a nice intro. It sets the album off on a pretty smooth note. Not going to say, though, that really at the end of the day, this doesn't sound like something advancing from King's Disease. It absolutely feels like he's sequeling King's Disease, which it's titled King's Disease 2. That's what I should expect. I like it, though. It's a nice intro. And that's the thing I'll revisit a ton, but I like it. It's solid. I hope this is a more revisitable album than King's Disease, because I loved that album when I first heard it. But I'll be totally honest, it wasn't really an album I replayed a ton. It's a really nice album. I still come back to a couple tracks like 27 Summers and Blue Benz. But there just wasn't a ton on it that, like, impacted me. It was just really solid music. So that's what I'm really hoping for on this record. But the second track, the first track on the first one I wasn't crazy about, and then that second track, Blue Benz, was crazy. So I hope Death Row East is a really cool name for a track. So we got track number 2, Death Row East. I think the thing about Hit Boy is this guy can go hard with the production. We heard that on the Epmd 1. He went fucking hard on that track. So, and on also tracks like Blue Benz and 27 Summers. So I really want to hear him do something like that on this, because I think that's really where he hits best. And Nas has proven he's really great at the braggadocious style. So I want to hear this. Nas is doing great at adapting to this new generation, throwing guys like a Boogie and YG on this. I'm happy about that. And Blast, too. Getting an XXL freshman on there is a great idea. So let's go. Track number 2, Death Row East. Ooh. Was not expecting that beat. I really like it though. That's a great beat. Oh, he's like discussing his story with Biggie and Death Row. Ooh, that's cool. It does hit me that Nas has been around that long. Like, he was around for Biggie. Like, he had feud with Biggie and Pac. Yes, yeah, I remember that. I'll talk about that later. We gotta remember that. Oh yeah, this clip where he stopped the show. Man, as someone who is like that, I'm someone who's so invested in the 90s hip-hop history. And like someone who knows all about those feuds. That clip where, where Nas stopped the show to tell everyone that Tupac passed away, and you heard the crowd's reaction. I can't imagine how absolutely insane that would have been. Because at the end of the day, they're Nas fans. Yeah, they're not going to be the biggest Pac fans, because if you don't know, I didn't hit me until recently. I thought it was like common knowledge in hip-hop, the entire feud with Nas, Biggie, Pac. But no, it's not like very common knowledge, everything that happened. It's a very interesting story. Highly suggest looking into it. But I like that Nas addresses... It's a cool story for Nas to tell, because so few rappers were in that feud and are still making music today. You know, Mobb Deep isn't doing anything nowadays. Biggie and Pac both passed away a long time ago. Jay-Z was in the feud, but I don't think he's nearly as into it as Nas was. Because Nas was almost third party, if you don't know. Nas had feud with Biggie, and he had feud with Pac. But yeah, that is true. He was going to go to Vegas to squash the feud with Pac, and then Pac died. Really sad shit, though. Like, at the end of the day, he makes the point that's like, if once that feud would have been squashed, it's very possible the entire... like, the feud, the whole thing could have calmed down and Biggie and Pac would still be around, but someone got blood in their hands. Also, yeah, he addresses the fact that Suge is a piece of shit and a fucking awful human being. Really great track. That was a great track. I feel like it's cool of him to tell that story, and it's so interesting of him he's told this story before. He talked about it on We Will Survive back in 99. But him now in 2021 telling that story, it's interesting for me to think that, like, Nas has been in the game for 27 years now. And not everyone knows that story, so. Very interesting shit. I find the history of hip-hop so fascinating. I've thought about making a video that's just, like, a series of just going through the timeline of, like, hip-hop history, because it's not, like, that long of history. Most of hip-hop history starts in, like, the early 80s, so, or, like, late 70s mainly, so. I could probably talk a lot about the pro, but love that track. That was a great track. Much better than the first track, like I hoped it would be. Also, just a great beat overall. Hit Boy killed that production. Anyway, 40. I talked about that track a long time. Anyway, 40 side. No features on this one. Let's hear what this is. The next one is the one with M, which I cannot wait for. We're gonna get some dark production. I feel like. Is he doing like a? He's doing like that Bountyville. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And he's rocking it. True. I didn't think Eminem, or no, not Eminem, sorry. I was just thinking about Epmd too. I didn't think that Nas would glide over that dark trap production, like the dark, like horror kind of bells and like vocals and choir. I'll admit it sounds like a little cheaper than the other two beats. It sounds a little more cliche, but at the same time, I thought Nas glided over that very well, kind of giving a dark, painted picture. What did hit me, though, about these three tracks so far is I like the position Nas is putting himself in. And it's a more interesting position than he was in King's Disease. Because what I noticed in King's Disease is that record doesn't really feel like it's talking about his status in hip-hop and his point in the game. This is definitely what he's talking about here. And I like that. It almost feels, I thought about this, it almost feels like your grandpa who fought in the Vietnam War, like telling you all these war stories. Like, he's talking about the battle between Biggie and Pac in the 90s. He's talking about his experience in life and how he's really an OG. And it hits me, yeah. It didn't hit me as much on the first one. The second one is much more grabbing me in the sense that, yeah, no, Nas been here a long damn time. And he's making good use of that experience in hip-hop. Because he knows that if he just tries to jump on trends, it won't work well. So he's just going to do his kind of own thing, feature what rappers he likes in the game, and do it well. Honestly speaking, Nas is doing shit better right now than Eminem. Like, I like new Eminem music, don't get me wrong, but King's Disease is better than anything Eminem's dropped since Revival, and I'll assume this record probably will be. But speaking of Eminem, Epmd 2, I'm finally to it. I have actually not heard a ton from the group Epmd. I know they're a very important hip-hop group, but they're one of those groups I never really got into, I guess. On their trio, and I don't know, I haven't listened to a ton of their stuff, but I know like Out of Business is supposedly a great record, but I don't know, I could check out their stuff. They've been, they only got OC Skygravy, here we go. No, they've been in the game since the 80s, and they were doing shit way back then. They're ones that made Unfinished Business, Strictly Bid. All of their albums are about business. They haven't had a record though since 2013, so is it a duo? All of their covers, oh no, well maybe, I don't know, I don't need to know more about Epmd, but most of the covers have two people on it, whatever the case may be. Epmd 2, featuring Eminem and Epmd. This is gonna be crazy. I wanna know if they use the same beat, let's go. How are you gonna fit this much in 3 minutes and a half? Okay, I've been waiting for Nas and Eminem to collab for so goddamn long, this is crazy. Oh no, it's gonna hit hard. I feel like a little kid right now. They're going back and forth. I didn't know they did that. That's so good, though. I'm turning this shit up, man. This is crazy. Okay, I'm pausing. Okay, that was crazy. Epmd killed that. I am pausing, though, to mentally prepare to hear Eminem do this. Okay, this is the most hyped I've ever been for an Eminem guest verse. Because Eminem has praised Nas' entire career. You listen to Infinite, you know that shit was influenced by Illmatic. You listen to everything Eminem, you hear that Nas influence. Eminem has praised Nas, and this collab has been in the makings for 22 years. Since the dawn of Eminem, this collab has been in the making, and I need to mentally prepare to hear him over this beat. I love this beat so much. It's one of my favorite beats of the year. I'm never going to listen to the original. Okay, I need to mentally prepare to hear him. If he does bad. Oh my god, if he does bad, I'm gonna be so pissed. We had them counting their paper, let's hit the kitchen. Okay, it's not Eminem, it's Nas. I thought Eminem was gonna come in. Oh, he's coming in for the final verse. Oh shit. Oh my god, this is so much better than the verse. Okay, I'm pausing because Eminem's about to come in. Nas did better on that verse than he did on the first one. Like, that verse was smooth as hell. Okay. Eminem, okay, don't mess this up, dude, don't. Come on. I'm not even talking, I just want to hear it, man. I knew he was going to do a pun there with Big Daddy Kane. I knew it. He shouted out Doom. I didn't think he'd do that. Nice. Nas knew he was going to murder this, giving him this much time. How many people does he shout out? That couldn't have been better. Oh my god, I love that. That was... I don't know if it's just the hype of me wanting to hear that collab so bad that made that so good. But oh my, Eminem knew what he had to do. He knew he was going with his idol. And I feel like he used that so well. The amount of people he shouted out in that last verse where he goes like, the yays and the drays and the yays and the drays and the jays. It's like, he shouts out a bunch of people there. he shouted out everyone who like passed away, like Biz Markie, DMX. I would assume he shouted out fuck. Oh no, I feel so disrespectful. It's the Digital Underground lead guy. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting his name. That's not Biz Markie. No, it's not Biz Markie. But he sounded out Doom too, which I was shocked by. I didn't think Eminem like ever has acknowledged Doom until then. Shocked. I don't know if he just did that because he wanted to shout out everybody passed away. That was a better fast verse though, because usually the Eminem fast verse is like the killer one was bad in my opinion, but he did so much better because that killer one he uses like very like it was just kind of an annoying flow. This one he used a very clear, strict flow. Yeah. I'm happy they gave Eminem like the last 2 minutes. I feel like they needed to give Eminem that time to just like kill it. Yeah, Nas X Eminem was fantastic. I would love hearing a whole album of this. It's not happening, I know that. I don't think Eminem's at that point in his career. This makes me more excited for whatever Eminem, because there's supposed to be an Eminem record coming in the next couple weeks. This makes me a little more excited for that, because now I have a new Eminem track, and it's crazy. So, also Nas, I feel like Nas recorded his verse after hearing M's, because I could tell during Nas' verse he wanted to murder that. He wanted to do right. Epmd had a great verse. I was happy he threw them in. I felt like that was a nice addition just because of the track. Okay, now that I think about it, I'm not crazy about the way Eminem ended his verse of saying, and the name of the song, it was a little weird, but that doesn't ruin the song at all for me. Next we got Rare, which is the one with the music video. I don't need to see the music video. The music video looked really cool to me. But I want to hear this one because I think he's probably centering this in a banger sound if he's making it like a music video and a single. He's singling this and not like the Miss Lauryn Hill track or the Eminem track, so let's hear. The Eminem track will absolutely be the most popular song of either King's Disease because it's fucking Eminem. All right, Rare. I'm still on the hype of that track. That was crazy. Anyway, Rare. I'm happy to even include EPMD because EPMD was a great track on its own. So, Rare, let's go. You doing a Drake flow? Why are you doing a Drake flow?
I'm not sure if that's really a Drake flow, but in the moment I thought it was.
What is he doing? Like, it's not bad. It's just confusing me. Like, that track opened up and I was like, I swear that was just a Drake flow. Like, just a flat-out Drake flow. And I'm not having an issue with people doing the kind of Drake style. I like the Drake style, but you're fucking Nas. Why are you copying Drake? I don't know. I might be misjudging it. Maybe it's not really a Drake style, but I don't know. I'm not really that crazy about that flow. I was happy with the kind of choppy flow on 40's side, but I'm not too crazy about it here. I feel like it's a little weird. The beat's not even calling to be like a Drake banger or anything. It's like a very like Hit Boy King's Disease beat. Just for some reason, Nas was like, I need to do some kind of more static flow on this. And maybe I'll get used to it. I'm just not crazy about it so far. He has better rhymes than like anyone in hip hop. Like anyone nowadays, he's better than them at rhyming. Okay, it's getting better. It's clicking better for me. It's clicking better. I don't know if that's really a Drake flow, but it's still, I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, all right, beat switch. All right, beat switch. I'm cool with it. Why is this not the whole track? This is so much better. This flow is so much better. Oh my god, this is actually a great flow. And now it's a trap beat. Third beat switch, huh? You know what I noticed about that specific track? Is like, so the first 2 minutes are this kind of like da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which is an alright flow. It's just not a flow I need to hear Nas doing. Because other rappers do better than him, and he's, where Nas's talents lie are in a much more, like, smooth, kind of like a lyric, rhyme-based, like, technical rap. That's what I like to hear Nas doing. And in those last two beats, which I didn't even think the third beat switch would happen, but it was a great beat switch. I really liked that Enemy, Hennessy, Friendly rhyme scheme. That was a great rhyme scheme there. I just don't get why the first 2 minutes happen. Like, the last minute and a half are crazy. They're great. And then your first 2 minutes are just like, oh, they're all right. I don't know. It's probably my least favorite of the five just because I wasn't crazy about the first 2 minutes. But the last, like, two verses would probably be my second favorite track so far. Maybe third, because Death Row East was crazy. Y'all know what my favorite is so far. I feel like that could be my favorite by the end, but I don't want to get my favorite track just because Eminem was on it. And Miss Lauryn Hill is some ammo. Like, if you have an album, and also with Miss Lauryn Hill, I haven't heard her on a track since the Pusha T one, like a couple years ago. So not too long, but before that it had been a while too. So, and I love her. She's like my favorite female artist, really ever. That right there, Miseducation, is my all-time favorite non-hip-hop album. So I love the woman. But next we got Yktv with A Boogie with a Hoodie and YG. I'm interested to hear what A Boogie will be doing, and here's the thing with this is I really liked Lil Durk on the first King Disease because I really like Lil Durk. I've never been too crazy about A Boogie with a Hoodie though, but who knows? I just don't want this to be like a 42 Doug on the Lemonhead track off of Call Me If You Get Lost, because I felt like 42 Doug just didn't really need to be there. I don't know. I feel like that might be the case with The Boogie. But YG's a great rapper, so I'm interested to hear him over. And I think he fits great with Nas. So I'm not even surprised YG's on. A Boogie with a Hoodie's a little weird to me, though. YKTV, though, I have trust for Nas, so that'll put a great track out. So let's go. I want the beat to go somewhere more than this. I'm not feeling that beat so far. But Nas is doing pretty well. I'm going to have to admit that. Something needs to be cut back on that trap. Something. It's good, but something needs to be cut back. There's like too many drums, but it's good. It's just too many drums for me. I don't know. I'm admit it. He's doing really damn good. Good job, man. Good job. What was... That guy's got a great flow, man. I don't talk about him enough. He's a great artist. Damn. You know, I'll be honest. First of all, here's what I'd say on a first listen. I think that's a solid track, but I think it's because of how well Nas, A Boogie, and YG did. Nas had a great flow. He glided over that very well in a very fun, egotistical way. A Boogie had a very good flow for the beat. The beat is kind of good for A Boogie. Like, it's not a beat where A Boogie's out of place. He did very well over that beat. I glided over very well, had fun, bouncy flows. Being someone who's never been that into his music, I like that. That was a pretty solid verse. YG did great. I thought he had a really fun verse. At the end of the day, the best part about those are the verses. Just their performances were all great. No one missed. The hook was really enjoyable. My biggest thing, though, is just the trap drums. Kind of irritated me, but I feel like maybe because this is the thing I've noticed is sometimes production sounds better on headphones to me than it does on the speaker. Sometimes production sounds worse on the speaker than it does on headphones. So if it hits better on headphones, usually production ends up just sounding worse on the headphones. But like the track From the Garden by Isaiah Rashad sounded awesome on the speaker, and then I went to my headphones and it just did not sound nearly as cool. It's still a good track, just not nearly one of my favorites on the project. That one could be different. It could get better, but most of the time it gets worse. But we'll see. At the end of the day, it's a solid track. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I think everybody did pretty well. Next, we got Store Run, which I'm interested to hear what he's going to bring here. I don't really have anything else to say about it. In 2 tracks, we hear Lauren. In 2 tracks. I don't know if I might be as crazy. I'm not going to be as crazy as I was for the Eminem feature, but that's a crazy feature right there. I should stop talking about the features because, I know, okay, I don't know if that's a dumb thing because, it's Nas. I know what he's going to bring here. I know what he's going to do. So here we go. Store Run. Let's go. All right, soul sample. Some Kanye? I don't know. Maybe some Kanye kind of production. Ooh. That is a good beat. That's a great flow too. Hey, reference your best song. Nice job. Hey, he just did what Eminem did. He the exact same goddamn thing Eminem did. Okay, that was a great track. I love the soul sampling. The drums were energetic and fun. Nas had a fun and braggadocious and enjoyable flow. I do want to point out though, when I said that that's the exact same thing Eminem did, I more mean I feel like it was the exact same way. He just shouted out multiple rappers who had passed away recently and said rest in peace, which I'm cool with. That makes sense to do. It's just 3 tracks ago, your other guy did that. So it's a little okay, Nas, you can do a more creative way than the way Eminem did it. He even shouted out less rappers than Eminem did. What I would say, though, is what hit me on this track. Every track, as far as that one thing in common, this album is 10 times the ego of the first. And this is a time when ego in hip-hop is already kind of an essential, in my opinion. I don't think it's an essential on a record like 444. Some of the things that make that album so good are humility. But I think Nas kind of coming out and saying, hey, I am kind of the king of this shit, isn't really the stupidest assessment. He has been in the game for so long. He owns that thing right there. In my opinion, the greatest hip-hop record ever made. Hundreds of hip-hop fans, the greatest record ever made. Most hip-hop educated people would call that like one of the most important hip-hop albums ever. He is one of the most like well-known influential figures in hip-hop. Most lyrical rappers nowadays would say Nas is a key influence. Kendrick, Cole very much. Even Jay-Z. Fucking Jay-Z is a Nas influence. Like it's totally fun for him to be this braggadocious, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really enjoyable track. Great beat. I personally even liked that production-wise better than Yktv and Rare. Just to be perfectly honest, I thought production-wise was better than those two tracks. I don't think the flow's better than the last half of Rare, but it was a really solid track. I quite liked that. Next we got Moments, which is the longest track so far, so I want to know what he's going to do for that one. The track after that's like nearly 5 minutes, and if that's just like Miss Lauryn Hill vocalizing for like, if it's like 2 minutes of Nas rapping and like 3 minutes of Lauryn Hill vocalizing, I'm like down with it. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention, yeah, I got my whole record collection fixed. It's all back on the wall. The Mad Villainy record fell off right before I started recording, so I'm gonna have to. I got adhesive. I'm using freaking like things that hold like this. If you don't know what this is what they do to hold walls together. It creates like a very thick plastic, and now that's how these are being held up. So I'm gonna adhesive the Mad Villainy holds. If it falls off again, it might not. Most of the records here are falling off, and some of them have survived, but I still have that Tribe Called Quest record in the mail. And I'll probably order a new Nas record at some point. Who knows? I'm probably going to order Call Me If You Get Lost once it's available. Anyway, Moments. Let's go.
Fuck making it rain, now we making it hail money.
I like that. Fuck making it rain, we making it hail money. That's a good bar. I don't know why no one's ever said that. I bet someone said that, honestly. Alright, it's a much more humble, much more smooth track. And much more, like, thought-provoking track. That's ego right there. Saying the first time you heard him is a moment you can't relive, that is ego. And reasonable ego. Alright, it's mostly reflection on life and like his favorite moments in life. I like that. Alright, really solid track. I like the way Nas kind of like talks about, you know, him, like where he is and him saying like, reflecting on his life. The funniest thing about that track though, so I'm doing my best to figure out why he mentions bugging to something he said. Because a part of me is like, oh, he's saying the first time you heard something not said and you were blown away. Which, yeah, that's a moment I can't relive. That's one of the most braggadocious things you could say. But it's reasonable because that's a moment I can't relive. I can tell you the first time I listened to Nas, it was NY State of Mind. And I remember thinking to myself, this is really good, but it's not my thing. Back at the time that was like before my like, that was back when I was an Eminem fan and only Eminem fan, and I knew a couple other artists, but I wasn't really into hip hop as a genre. But I heard like, once I heard that song, that's when my vast love of hip hop kind of began. So I can credit Nas for kind of starting. I credit Nas for really building my basis of love of hip hop. That's why Illmatic is my all-time favorite album. But what I'm saying about that is like, is he saying that because it's not like I've ever really been that upset at something Nas said. Like, I can't tell you a lyric Nas said that really upset me to the point where I'd say I was bugging. I don't know. And he's not really a controversial figure. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that line. I feel like it's him just saying the first time you were hyped about something Nas said, but who knows. This video is gonna be long. It's probably my longest reaction yet, because we still got 7 tracks left, and my recording is at 51 minutes. This is longer than they usually go. All right, Nobody featuring Miss Lauryn Hill. The first time these two have come together since If I Ruled the World, one of the best Nas songs ever made, one of the best songs ever made, in my opinion. Let's hear it. I want to hear what these two are going to bring together. And I just can't wait to hear a new Miss Lauryn Hill. Whenever Miss Lauryn Hill's on a track, it's beautiful. So I just can't wait. Like, this is very smooth. I love it. This sounds like Miss Sophistication shit. I'll admit it does.
Me and my higher self
Oh, it's a reflection on fame. I love that. Nah, I think this might be my favorite track so far. This is really good. The goddess of hip hop. You know, Miss Thornhill did not vocalize. She did not sing, which in my opinion is what she's best at. However, that's not an issue on this track for me. While I would have absolutely loved her to do some kind of vocalization hook, and I feel like it's a little bit of a missed opportunity, I don't think that's really why she's here. I think why she's here is to really give her, like, the message this song is basically giving off is both of these people have been legends in hip-hop and music in general for over 20 years. And both of them basically they both debuted in the exact same year. And both of them kind of reflecting on how they miss a time before that. And I like the way Miss Thornhill criticizes the music world of doing the same thing, not trying to take risks. It feels almost like the reasoning why there's no sequel to Miseducation, that she just doesn't see, like, the purpose anymore. And it's sad, you know, this track almost made me feel a little sad because it made me feel like, damn, she had such a horrible experience with fame to the extent where she'll drop the top 8 album ever for me and then never come back. But at the same time, I totally understand why, and I'm kind of content with my perfect album. And plus I have the Scored and Blend on Reality, which are both classics too. Very interesting track though, and I feel like it really gave Nas and Miss Lauryn. I really like Lauryn Hill. I think that's really where my love of this track kind of lied. I feel like Nas did super well talking about missing the old days, you know, wishing he could go somewhere where he's no one, but everywhere he goes, he's this famous celebrity. But I like the way Miss Lauryn Hill talked about, you know, just her very, very narcissistic view of the musical genre now, and a reasonably narcissistic view. This track didn't make me feel that happy, but it made me feel like I understood where these two are coming from. And now that this track is kind of out, I kind of understand really why she hasn't come with a new album. Because the media would rip it apart. They'd be like, oh my god, this isn't as good as the original. And as much as I know it wouldn't be as good, I still want it, but at the same time, this almost feels like Miss Lauryn Hill's kind of way of saying, I don't like this musical genre, I don't like the musical world now. But that's kind of my interpretation of the track. Overall, though, easily the most meaningful track on the record. As much as I enjoy Epmd too, that track is just really fun. I think Nobody means a lot to both these people, and I think it's my favorite track so far. I think that track is a very thought-provoking thing. I really love that. Next, we got No Phony Love with Charlie Wilson. I'm so sorry. Charlie Wilson is such a... Oh, he was on the Brockhampton record. That's where I know him. He was also on the Amine record last year. What else has he been on? Because clearly he features a lot. I'm just going to search him up in my song database. Fuck, what was I looking for again? I totally just spaced that. Charlie Wilson, okay. I just want to look it up in my song database and just see if I have a ton of songs from him. I don't know. Okay, so he's on... Oh my god, he was on the first one. Okay, he was the guy on Car 85. Okay, I'm remembering that now. He was on Good For You, both Amine, Limbo and Good For You. And he was on Cherry Bomb. He was on Fucking Young Perfect. I guess I just don't remember the guy very well. Whatever the case may be, though, I have 5 songs from a guy that I don't remember the name of. But I definitely recognized him. I'm not surprised he's on here. No Phony Love with Charlie Wilson. Let's go. How am I forgetting that vocals? He's such a good vocalist, Charlie. Such a good vocalist. Oh my god, that took me a hot second to catch that D'Angelo verse. That D'Angelo reference. Why'd that take me too long to get? D'Angelo's like one of my favorite R&B artists ever. Come on. This had me made a thought about something. I'm like, okay, so if you don't know, Nas had a divorce back in I think 2010. With his wife Faith Evans. That was what Life Is Good was mostly about. That was what most of that record was about. And he discusses it more on I think he just talked about it on the Lost Tapes too a bit. Just because there were Life Is Good tracks on that. But it almost feels like now he's dating. Like, I feel like that. I don't know. I don't really look into Nas's personal life. I don't look at most of my favorite rappers' personal life. But it's just him talking, the way he's talking about love on this record, it feels like that. I like this as kind of a love, devotion song. It's not something anyone's never done before. I could name tons of songs that talk about wanting to get into rappers, wanting to get in relationships, but not wanting the fake love that most hoes lay off. It's like, I've heard that theme before, but Nas does it well. I liked Charlie Wilson's vocals. Not the track I feel like I'm going to revisit the most, but I like it for what it is. I think it's really solid. We got Brunch on Sundays. I really want to hear what Blast is doing here. If you don't know, Blast was a XXL freshman. He's one of the less popular ones. Actually, I'm pretty wrong about that. This guy got numbers. I totally did not know he had 7 million monthly listeners. When did that happen? And it's not even like the 6th tape was that big. But I guess his No Love Lost got really big. Yeah. I didn't know that, like, overrated at 21. Wow. This was a bit. I thought I was, like, getting into a small rapper. No. No Love Lost is a really good mixtape. I highly recommend it. Blast is a great rapper, and I'm happy to hear him on a Nas record. I feel like he needs that exposure. And I think he's arguably one of the best XXL freshmen. I would have really liked to see Murray on this record, but I'm not asking for that. We got Blast. We got an XXL freshman. We got one of the better XXL freshmen. It's a great XXL freshman who I think has a very bright future ahead of him. So, Brunch on Sundays featuring Blast. Let's go. There's a lot of, like, rich talk in this album. A lot of, like, player talk. I like it. He's doing a lot of harmonizing on this record. I noticed that. Y'all see what I mean by saying this guy's going places? This is why. You know, I really like that track. Because I really like how he kind of makes this track dedicated to his favorite day of the week and just kind of trying to recreate that feeling of Sunday. That, like, because for me, I have a very similar, like, he discusses having this party, you know, just this very calm, nice party with R&B music playing. Brunch. I feel like the meaning of saying brunch, I honestly feel like this is kind of a song, it's giving me the vibe of, like, coming back from church. And this is someone who's grown up a Christian. I've done that hundreds of times. And I guess there's just this kind of feeling of coming back from church. You know, it's 11 to 12. You know, it's not really lunchtime, but it's not really breakfast. So it's brunch time. You invite all your friends over. You invite family over. You discuss things. He talks about talking with one of his family members about student loans and how he feels that. Blast gives great vocals over it, too. They give it kind of this more liveliness to it. I really like that. I think that's a really cool road to go down for the track. At the end of the day, really nice track there. I felt like that was just nice. That was nice. Next we got Count Me In. So far though, if we're talking about the whole record so far, this is great. It's not like one of my favorite albums of the year, but it's really solid overall. Next we got Count Me In. We got one more feature on the whole record, which is Hit Boy, which is kind of weird, but I don't know why he's featured on this track, but Count Me In. Let's go.
Every time I turn the album in, when it ain't even July, I got it hot again.
I like that. Good bar. You know, alright. I like that track. It's pretty good. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like it for what it is. It has very smooth beats, nice flows. Definitely something I could have heard on the first. Like, something that would have been on the first one. I like it, though. It's a nice track. I'll say, though, there is a side of me that's like, I wonder if it was just like a cut track from the first. I don't know, but maybe. I don't know. It's a nice track. I have no complaints. I like it. Next we got Composure, which for some reason features Hit Boy. I don't know why. It's confusing me because I'm like, Hit Boy produced the whole record, right? Why is he randomly being credited on this one track here? Oh, maybe he just needed to credit him on one track, and that could be a good sign for this being one of the best tracks. I don't know why he isn't credited on a Rare, because that's the single. Whatever. Next we got Composure with Hit Boy, I guess. Here we go. Oh, Hit Boy's gonna rap! That makes more sense. Hit Boy's a great rapper. I don't know why he doesn't do it more, honestly. Wow. Rhyme scheme, man. Damn rhyme scheme. Alright, so that track, I think its whole theme and its whole focus is keep yourself in check. Keep yourself, you know, from being irrational, from being insane, from being, you know, stupid. Make good decisions, basically, and more or less, don't get upset at other people over stupid things. Nas brings up his story with his parents meeting and how it happened because his wife broke up the fights that was about to happen. I like that, though. I think it's a good theme to go on because I think it's just generally like okay in culture to just break your composure. But I like that it's a mature move for Nas to do, and I like that he's kind of talking mature stuff on a record this deep in his career. Well, not everything on this record has been the most mature, as he does just brag about his money quite a lot. I like that. I think that's a good move to go down. Next, we got My Bible, which is a cool title. I'm interested in what he has. The final track is interesting to me because it's just titled Nas is Good. I have a feeling it'll just be a speech of someone talking, but that'll be an interesting outro. Next, we got My Bible. Let's go. Ooh, that's a cool beat. Nice job, big boy. All right, it's a Christian track. I'm totally cool with that, man. Totally cool with that. I always like artists talking about religion, and I don't just mean Christianity. Even as a Christian, as much as I like that, I even like rappers talking about Islam or any other religion they're a part of, because I like it because I feel like it's not a place artists want to open up to, but I feel like sometimes they should. It's such a personal thing to people, and I get why people don't want to talk about it all the time. But I like Nas thanking God for where he is and saying how much he appreciates it. Oh, I don't need to hear it yet. Okay. Kind of appreciating, like, oh, come on, dude. I gotta plug my phone in before this video ends. So, because I have another I know at least I have a weekend reaction after this. I like it just as a track where he just talks about, like, how he feels as, like, you know, as a man, how he sees women unprotected in society and how they're just it's not always the best for them. And he touched on that till the war is won, and I like how he brought it back here. I really like that track. I really like the way he sees God in the world, and I just appreciate hearing that. It's not an incredible track, but the beat was really nice. The theme was really nice. Honestly, I really like that. We got the final track here, Nas is Good, which I'm going to be very interested to hear what we have to offer here. Nas is Good, which I just figured out the space bar plays, which is better. So let's go.
Promise that should reinstated. Death to the pessimistic mind state.
Is that saying there's going to be King's Disease 3? Is that him saying that? All right. King's Disease 2. Well, I'll just talk about Nas is Good. Nice little ending. Reflections on how he feels about his skin tone, which I was shocked it hit me. It's not discussed on this album really at all. Like, race and racism is, like, not touched on this at all until the last track. I liked that. Overall, I liked it. It was a nice conclusion. There's a part of me that's like, was that meant to be the intro? Because when he ends it with King's Disease, when he goes, well, he opens it with Escobar's Season Begins, and then he ends it with King's Disease too. But it is kind of relaxing. It does work after tracks like My Bible and Composure. So I don't know. At the end of the day, though, I liked it. It was a really nice ending. Overall, though, we're talking about the whole record. I really like this. I thought this was really good. I feel about equal on both King's Diseases, but I do have to say, I feel like the best moments off the first don't, like, compare to my favorite moments on the second. Like, I think, honestly, like, Death Row East, him discussing, you know, his past with, Biggie and Tupac, Epmd 2 rapping alongside Eminem, Nobody giving this perspective of fame with Miss Lauryn Hill, in Brunch on Sundays, giving this nice reflection on Sundays. Nothing on the first one, maybe Till the War Is Won, hit me that well, like that to that extent. And it's interesting to me. So that's like the extent I feel on it. And I think there's a lot of tracks on this sequel that I think I liked more than the first one. I feel like but there is a part of me that's like, the first one feels like a much more direct album. This is kind of what I feel like King's Disease 2 is what Billie Eilish attempted on Happier Than Ever. But this one is able to not really find itself being a mess. It just finds itself being an album that does a lot of different things. But it doesn't really branch out like a crazy amount. It just kind of goes around doing its own different things. I think my favorite, like, thing about this record was just, I think this was a good way to follow up the first, you know. I feel like this album isn't nearly as humble as the first one, not nearly as calm, but it's a lot more fun and exciting, and it's longer, and it's more ambitious. Because I feel like Nas really wanted to re-earn something on that first one. I feel like Nas kind of recognized that with the quality and how people felt about Lost Tapes 2 and Nasir, that I wonder if he felt like he was going downhill, and he was trying to kind of just like go back to a simpler time, go back to what he did good. like go back to an older time for him. And I feel like he's kind of trying to take that and then branch out more on that. I really like this as a sequel to King's Disease. Do I like it more? I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to say yes, but there's also a part of me that wants to say no. There might be a part of me that's like the first is technically better, but the second's much more enjoyable, and I'm going to revisit it more. At the end of the day, King's Disease 2, though, can't say I was let down at all. The video here is an hour and a half, so I should probably wrap it up now. At the end of the day, though, King's Disease 2 was a solid album. I'll review it more in the following days. No, it did not disappoint, though. It did not disappoint. I don't know what the next video is going to be. It's probably going to be Weekend. I don't think Kanye dropped, but I'm going to check if Kanye dropped. We'll see if something happens. If he didn't, though, I guess the next reaction is Weekend reaction. But when Donda drops, the reaction is coming. I'm not going to skip out on that. Anyway, see you guys next time. Peace out. Peace King. I don't know. Bye. King's Disease 2 is great. Bye.